The students are bewildered to suddenly find a video of bugs having sex air during the student assembly. Japan's government has passed a law forbidding anyone from uttering immoral words that come out as sexual. And for those who don't abide, there is a public moral squad that knows immediately about it thanks to the public moral terminals installed on each individual's neck. Some teenagers are busy reading adult magazines. Although they are sure that nobody will find them, they pack their bags to run away once one of them utters a blacklisted word. Unfortunately for them, the decency squad already knows their location due to the terminal, and they are electrocuted before being arrested. As for the magazines, the squad leader commands his subordinates to burn them to ashes. The reason this law is in action is because the parents don't want their children to be influenced by sexual fantasies and sway them away from the path of success. Ever since then, people have realized how better and healthy their society has gotten. With no impure thoughts in their way, children can hope for a better future and become the leaders of tomorrow. Or rather, this is how the public perceives this law. Tanukichi Okuma heads off to school for the entrance exam, and he resolves to get higher grades so he can get closer to the girl of his dreams, his senior, Anna Nishikinomiya. After a few weeks, Okuma has been accepted, and it is time for the entrance ceremony. As he boards the train to his school, he finds a mysteriously humongous individual who is suspiciously staring at him. Seeing this, he starts feeling the creeps and tries to avoid any sort of eye contact with him. As the train is about to stop, a female accuses the other of touching her, just to milk out some cash off him. Okuma quickly realizes her plan, and as an aspiring individual, he decides to help him. The female confronts him outside for ruining her plan, and she calls the decency squad on him, prompting him to run. Suddenly, a mysteriously immoral individual, going by the name of Blue Tundra, makes an entrance and starts yelling filthy words. The public decency squad can't catch her as she warns to reveal her entire body if they ever get near her. She bursts out lewd cards into the air, and the majority of the public is left ecstatic to have gotten their hands on something so lewd in this day and age. As Okuma is watching this, Blue Tundra encourages him to run away, prompting him to think about how the others know him. Later, after Anna gives the speech on stage, a mysterious girl irritates him as she wants to know how babies are conceived. Luckily, the vice president of the student council arrives in time and takes him to their office. Okuma finds himself in the same room with Anna and the guy from before, Guriki Reiki, his senior. Anna welcomes him as the new member of the student council, much to his amazement, and demands that he help them out with finding more about morality and the opposite. As they have spent their whole lives in this city, they don't know what indecency is, and Anna feels it wouldn't do the student council any good if they fail to identify it. Moreover, she has her suspicions that Blue Tundra is one of the students at the school, and they need to do everything they can to get their hands on her. Afterward, Im Kaju, the vice president, takes him to a cafe, which is surprisingly empty at this time of an hour. Im immediately starts off with sexual jokes and reveals that she is actually Blue Tundra. Okuma tries contacting the others, but has no luck and is eventually forced to join her mission of liberating society from the wholesomeness and showing them the path of lewdness. Initially, he thought he would get to trick her by lying, but the other reveals she has a whole plan and Okuma will be framed for having sexually offending her, leaving him at the bay of her mercy. The following day, he finds himself tied up in the curious student's laboratory, but somehow escapes and Im informs him about their terrorist attack on the weekend. During the student assembly, she plays a video of a bug's intercourse and starts voicing it lewdly, awakening new fantasies inside the students. Okuma, disguised as her, is outside drawing a giant asterisk on the ground but somehow experiences a new feeling through this deed. Even though Okuma was instructed to draw a giant genitalia on the ground, he got carried away and drew something else entirely, though this still fulfilled their purpose as the students got a wrong idea. Later, Anna is ashamed that they couldn't stop a terrorist attack and wonders who is operating behind the scenes. Reiki criticizes Okuma for failing to identify the terrorist, even though his father was one, and he should be having an easy time catching them. Im stops him from furtherly disrespecting him, and Okuma describes how it was living with his father. Initially, he loved the dirty jokes, but after meeting Anna, he started to get away from these impure thoughts and aspired to become pure enough for her heart. Im is amazed at how much he admires Anna and tries to discover why he would draw a giant plant later, though she doesn't get anything out of her. For their next attack, they plan to distribute adult magazines among the students anonymously, and she directs him to a place where a stack of magazines is. After getting his hands on them, his mission starts, and he starts placing them in random places at the school to not give out any information about their identity. He encounters Fuwa Hayaka, who is a bit suspicious of him and informs him about her bugs being stolen. Though now that she knows how pregnancy occurs, she isn't longer interested in her bugs. Instead, she asks him whether he would be interested in finding out more about being combined together like the flies. However, Okuma has got places to be and heads off to meet Iam. The two would have much preferred to have gotten their hands on fresh obscene material, but since the government bans any kind of material, and the trackers immediately know what a person does, it will be like suicide to sell some. Iam regrets being born into a society where immoral words are deemed worse than murder as the teenagers are forced to labor after getting caught. Later, Anna found out about the distribution of magazines at school, but doesn't have a clue as to who is running such an obscene campaign. As they are discussing the countermeasures, Okuma notices an art framed inside the room, and upon a close look, he realizes it has a double meaning to it. When he points it out, Anna still doesn't know how it is obscene as the woman is only eating a mushroom, but trusts his instinct and burns it up. Anna wants to know about this, as she believes there could be a lot more things she might not have an idea about, and he takes his time teaching her everything, gaining her praise. Afterward, Iam warns him about the seriousness of Anna and informs him how her mother is trying to pass a bill that will let the decency squad know every possible movement of their bodies, even the emotions they feel when aroused. She believes this is just a start, and the next generation will be oblivious to how babies are made. To avoid this, she has another plan to teach the students how they can get together. Iam creates a diversion while Okuma, disguised as the Blue Tundra, directs the new students to a class to teach them dirty words. Anna and Reiki enter the wrong room and mistake their teacher for the villain. Though the two quickly apologize upon realization and run after Blue Tundra, Okuma barely makes it alive as Iam makes an entrance and steals all the urine samples of the new boys for her research. As Okuma removes his wig, an artistic student on another roof spots him. An award ceremony is underway and the artistic student, Autumn, receives an award for drawing the most beautiful piece of art. However, she isn't really interested in the reward and tears the certificate apart on stage. Everyone is taken aback by this, but nobody has the guts to question her. Afterward, Okuma keeps noticing that Anna looks worried, but when he tries to ask her, Iam stops him. Later in his class, Fua once again sneaks up on him and wants to know the connection between protein and boys' urine samples. She feels as though they play an important role in pregnancy, but before he could answer that, Autumn drags him into the art class. She wants his help as there is something that is blocking her way as an artist, and reveals that he cannot turn her down as she has evidence of him disguised as Blue Tundra. Iam doesn't really get along well with her, and as soon as she stumbles upon them, she immediately calls for help. Thankfully, Reiki arrives just in time to take her away, and she assures him that she will catch him again. Afterward, Iam takes him to a cafe where she makes fun of him for being Autumn's pet, and while they are returning, she informs him about Anna dealing with a mysterious stalker. Okuma wants to help her, but Iam instructs him to focus on his mission and she will solve the situation. The following night, Okuma takes out Autumn for dinner, and she reveals she wants his help with getting close to the person she loves. Okuma also admits to having someone in his heart, and the two decide to reveal their names simultaneously. However, Okuma gets distracted while Autumn chants out Anna's name, astonishing him. Now that it will only create a trifle between the two, he intentionally makes Iam his crush just to avoid any misunderstanding. Autumn wants to unite with him to split up Iam and Anna so she gets to be with her, but Okuma feels Anna doesn't trust him enough. The other assures him that she is only against the Blue Tundra because of her duty, and doesn't feel any resentment toward them. At the student council office, Reiki accuses Okuma of being a stalker, but Anna wants him to calm down and resolve the situation peacefully. Iam creates a plan where she will go out with Anna, while Reiki will hide to restrain the stalker once he shows up. In the art room, Autumn forces Okuma to take her out and dresses him as a girl. The two admire Anna from afar, and Autumn reveals that she wants a flawless Anna on her canvas, though she isn't good at it and always messes things up. Reiki spots them, but before he can question them, the stalkers come out to attack Iam, but she effortlessly dodges their attacks. Okuma helps her but is caught up in the attack and lands on top of Anna, awakening a new feeling inside her innocent mind. After getting injured, Okuma is admitted to a hospital where Reiki takes care of him. He is suddenly visited by Fua, who informs him about the unusual activities of Anna. Ever since the incident, she's been trying to find every magazine in the school to burn to ashes. Okuma believes that the other has started hating him as she hasn't even visited him once ever since he got injured. After he is discharged, Iam informs him about persuading Autumn to join their cause. However, she is having a hard time drawing erotica as she has never seen private parts of others before. Later, Autumn confirms this and informs him furtherly that while he was busy resting in the hospital, she had the freedom to search Anna's entire body and study each part carefully. Okuma thinks this may be the reason she never visited him, but after the other tells him that she didn't even take more than a few minutes, he concludes that the other really hates him. In the student council office, they are cleaning things up when she accidentally bumps into him but rushes away at the thought of being close to him. Later, as he enters his room, he spots someone, but before he could check them out, the other had already left. Ian quickly wants him at the cafe, and there she reveals her next plan to invade private property and collect the stash of pornographic content, as old-age erotica has been found lying there. After returning to his room, Okuma is greeted by a stash of letters, but he has no clue about the sender. The following day, Iam inquires about the progress of their plan, but the other is too busy dealing with the letters, and after they check them out, Iam concludes that this is the work of a female student. Later, Anna's mother is here for a speech to guide the students on the right path and introduce the new technology that stops them from doing anything immoral. Iam fears that their plan will fail as they have already anticipated her attack, but firstly, they need to focus on finding who the stalker is. Okuma takes Autumn to his room so she could help him in identifying the stalker in case she isn't home, and also learn more about drawing private parts. One night, as they are about to sleep, Anna barges inside and ties his hand. After getting undressed, she starts grinding on top of him, while the other hardly believes that someone who he considered the paragon of purity is enjoying the sensation of her body right on top of him. Furthermore, Autumn encourages him to participate in the activity, furtherly infuriating him. Suddenly, Iam opens the light, only to find her friend in such a vulgar state. Seeing as she is exposed, Anna promptly apologizes and runs away. On the other hand, Autumn now wants to draw her erotic body, and since the new PM is preventing it from drawing through her hands, she uses her mouth to hold the pen. Meanwhile, Fua finds her lab completely cleaned up and confronts Anna for it, only for the other to reveal she did it so the person she loves would love her back. The following morning, Okuma didn't believe anything was real and perceived it to be a dream. However, the other two forcefully convinced him everything occurred. At school, Anna serves the two of them cookies, and the two don't feel anything changed in her, despite knowing her vulgar side. Okuma doesn't like the taste of cookies, and the other reveals that she did mix something inside, causing him to wash his mouth over and over. Iam realizes the other has gone too far in her love, but Anna suddenly arrives, enraged that she was also in his room last night. The two come up with an excuse to get away, and Okuma promises to never get on her bad side again. At night, Anna's mother informs her of installing the new technology which will prevent any obscene material from coming into existence, and believe the world would be a better place from now. The next day, Anna continuously chases Okuma, to the point he is disturbed from his mission of distributing the arts auto. Drew and kindle the passion of sexual thoughts into the student to stop the Decency Squad's attack on the mansion that carries collections of pornographic content. Though Fua gets her hands on them, and just as Iam is planning an attack to stop the public moral squad, the students make it in time. On the other hand, Anna's mother wants each of the students to wear the new belt but is horrified to know that not a single student is at the school. The students carefully demonstrate a plan by making the male students the scapegoat and replacing all the documents with pornographic material. Meanwhile, Okuma and Iam are planning their attack to locate the magazines, but Anna confronts them and starts rampaging like a beast. Iam quickly tosses Okuma to a side so he wouldn't be dragged into the fight, and he is sent down into a basement full of porn stash. Though, after hearing Iam's pleasure, he decides to head back, wearing the new suit he has just come across. As she is about to attack him, she realizes that he feels and smells the same as her love Okuma, making her lose her focus. She doesn't want to betray her love for someone who looks like Okuma, and just as she, leaks herself from being turned on so much, she jumps off the cliff. Moreover, Sophia is forced to withdraw her act that would force the children to wear the belts as she accidentally shows the magazine instead of her documents on live TV. While running away from the Decency Squad, Okuma feels his passionate life as a terrorist has only just begun. Some of the students get their hands on the porno content and start feeling their chests throbbing, along with something down there. Iam believes their crusade is becoming more and more successful as this is just her first goal. For their next plan, she wants to make sex toys so the students could wank off in peace. Since the government has banned them, they are forced to make it in his room. As for the vibrator, they assign Okuma the task to ask Fua's help as she is better at it. After they make various prototypes, Okuma is the one who tests them with his fingers, and after a few failures, the three immediately succeed. Autumn is assigned to color them as simply colorless wouldn't be too erotic for the students. Afterward, Fuwa informs Okuma about the vibrators being done and he heads there to collect them. Okuma immediately realizes the other is naked beneath her coat and wants to know the reason. The other tried the vibrator on herself, and as she was soaking wet from her fluids, she decided to get naked. Suddenly, Anna enters and is enraged that her beloved is alone with another girl. Okuma realizes the trouble he is in and instantly tells her that he was asking Fuwa about a gift he was planning to give to her. She is amazed that the other thought of her that much and immediately reaches into his pocket, only to pick up the vibrator. As she is ignorant about toys, she graciously accepts the gift and assures him she is gonna care for it like a precious pendant. After informing IM about this incident, the other is enraged that they lost both of the vibrators so easily, as IM was too excited to try her out and in a moment of ecstasy, she went and broke it. As the two meet up with Anna, the faulty remote suddenly starts working, and the other's chest starts shivering, turning her on. She wants the other to immediately mingle with her, but for his life, Okuma rushes to Fuwa's room to ask for help. However, she doesn't have any idea either and tells him it would be best if he finds another remote. Anna catches up to him, and the run continues. Finally, Reiki catches him, bringing him to the president. The other is turned on to the point of no calming down and starts playing with him, more like his thing. Luckily, the vibrator breaks down at the last possible second and he is saved. Later, Anna wants another vibrator as a gift, but they have no way of making another one so soon. Upon finding Autumn around him, she is once again infuriated that a random girl is trying to get closer to him. Socks makes links with other erotic terrorist organizations around Japan, and they start running rampant. A terrorist, going by the name White Climax of the Moist Throng, sends a message in a weird way to make his presence known. Back at school, the student council learns that someone has been stealing pants all across town. They didn't anticipate this and believed the thief was among the students. After underwear gets stolen in broad daylight, Tanukichi and IM make it their mission to catch them. They hide outside the girls' locker room to catch the thief, but something comes up and IM flees. Okuma doesn't get to enjoy much time as Anna is already there and rushes off to sexually assault him once more. On the other hand, Autumn is still hiding, enjoying the spectacle, and getting more ideas for her fanfics. Reiki arrives, but by the time he gets there, Okuma is covered in her fluids, unable to move, though he is assigned another job to go after the thieves. Tanukichi later reunites with IM, only to discover her conversing with Hayaka. IM suspects her to be the underwear thief, but it is revealed that she was only interested in her yaoi novel, which has characters loosely modeled on himself and Guriki. Afterward, the thieves are found out and they are being taken care of when suddenly the mystery terrorist, Moist Thong, of the group Gathered Fabric spreads his message across campus. The escape plan of the enemy isn't successful as Reiki sends them to their destination, though they do manage to inform other students of their cause. IM proclaims in the cafe that Socks must bring down Moist Thong as he is ruining their name. Later that night, Tanukichi and Fuwa assist a young girl in evading the decency squad. The female then attempts to harm Tanukichi until he discloses that he is a Socks member. The other initially takes it as a bluff and doesn't perceive him to be intimidating enough to be a terrorist. But after he shares some of his collection with her, the two instantly become good friends. Kajiri Onigashira is revealed to be the girl. IM is hesitant to trust her since Kajiri is the daughter of Keisuke, another Ero terrorist who struck compromises with moral authorities. She does, however, agree to allow Kajiri to join Socks. Tanukichi awakens to discover Kajiri resting next to him. As he is about to instruct her to get away from him, Anna promptly enters the room furiously. She cannot tolerate him cheating on her every now and then and wants to know if he would rather have a small child to sleep with her. He swiftly resolves the situation by instructing the other to pose as his little sister, though he finds out even his little sister won't be saved from her if she were to go on a rampage. Later at school, Anna's father appointed Aburo Tsukamigusa as prefect. Unlike the moral authority, though, Aburo begins by deleting ordinary goods and further bans all sports activities. She doesn't know whatever she is doing and just abides by whatever her team calls moral. She also attempts to seize Fuwa's yaoi manga until she persuades her that it is useful. Okuma finds a loophole in her judgmental abilities as she listens to whatever others tell her, even if it's her enemy. Meanwhile, IM intends for Socks to share Autumn's artwork with other schools. Kajiri chooses to lead the operation herself. Later, Kajiri comes to report that her mission was a total success, and she treats Tanukichi like a slave, motivated by her newfound success. Okuma despises her ways, yet he cannot bring himself to sell Kajiri to Ayame. The next day, Ayame secretly informs Okuma that Sox's actions were harmed by the abrupt entrance of Oboro and her companions. Sox must find a means to undermine the prefect system before the government exports it to other schools, in addition to coping with the dangers of the moral authorities and the Gathered Fabric faction. Ayame declares war on the public committee and believes that the more they educate the young to remain far from indecent things, the more they will be attracted to filth. She sees this as an absolute opportunity and wants to take advantage of it. Ayame conducts an operation at school in order to disrupt both the school's prefect program and Gathered Fabric. She makes two different teams, one consisting of Kajiri and Autumn, who are to spread additional sexual sketching materials across the school under her blue tundra guise. On the other hand, Okuma is tasked with hanging his soiled boxers in an attempt to attract Gathered Fabric thieves who would go after anything as long as it radiates the aroma of underwear. Kajiri is quickly bored of her role and wants to head inside, having fun while catching the thieves. Okuma is awaiting the thieves patiently while Ayame herself makes an appearance at the school to distract the authorities, knowing that the thieves will now make their move. Okuma is awaiting them patiently, even turning down Reiki when he needs help, but instead, he finds Anna and Oboro entering through the front entrance. The other immediately starts sniffing it, having zero shame. She instantly assaults Okuma once more, and when Okuma asks for Oboro's help, the other responds that she doesn't have authority over Anna. Suddenly, a couple of students barge in to steal the underwear and vanish, enraging Anna. Kajiri doesn't like being sidelined and she asks for Fuwa's help with tracking the thieves down. After a long argument, Fuwa decides to help her by sending various students to Okuma's location so it would be easier for him to catch them. Afterward, Okuma manages to eliminate numerous Gathered Fabric members as Ayame executes the same strategy again. Okuma later subdues and treads on the crotch of someone who has wandered into the room. However, he finds that person's name is Oboro, and she does, in fact, have a penis. Okuma doesn't understand why he would act like a female, and he reveals that he has been trained to faithfully serve Anna and her father. Whatever her father wishes for him, he simply doesn't get a choice in it. The fire alarm goes off, and the entire school is evacuated. Back at Sox's hideout, Kajiri accepts responsibility for the incident, but Ayame chastises her for thwarting the plan, as she didn't want help from the regular students, headed by Fuwa. As Sox considers their next step, they get a letter scribbled on a pair of panties, instructing them to meet at a local park, where White Peak himself arrives. As the two groups come face to face, White Climax of Moist Throng informs them about their goal and lends them help. However, Ayame chastises him for using sexual terrorism only as a means to do something as petty as stealing people's underwear. White Climax is infuriated that they are wearing clean underwear on their faces and criticizes their way, as he believes underwear are only capable of praise when they bear the scent of a woman's body. Seeing as they cannot join forces, no matter how similar their goal is, White Climax takes a leave. Okuma hurries to school the next morning on a bus. Okuma and Reiki's bus gets hijacked while they are chatting with Ayame. Hayaka, Anna, Oboro, and Autumn are on different buses among the jacked buses. During his bus hijacking, White Peak also hijacks the PM system and declares war on Sox and his organization's connection. While viewing the news, Fuwa notices that the jacker's pistol is a forgery. Apparently, she concluded from their movement alone, causing the other people to take them down easily. Meanwhile, aboard Anna and Oboro's bus, the former is infuriated that she is being kept away from her beloved Okuma, and she immediately unleashes a rampage on the jacker, knocking them out. On Okuma and Reiki's coach, the jacker wants Reiki to remove his underwear, and confronts Okuma about his collection of underwear, though he easily gets away with making excuses while the other is ready to give up his pants. As Reiki takes off his clothes, he causes everyone in the vehicle to vomit. After Okuma flees, Ayame discovers a flaw in White Climax's actual identity. Ayame has Kajiri lure out White Climax's bus in order to apprehend him. Despite utilizing musk panties, Okuma is outmatched by White Climax, who goes on to insult Ayame. Okuma tries to detain him after Ayame intervenes. However, before Sox finally catches him, Ayame is thrown from the bus by Kajiri, showing that she has joined Gathered Fabric. Tanukichi has no option but to exit the bus as Kajiri points her stun pistol at him. He wants to reunite with Ayame to follow up with the plan, but authorities are after him and he hides away in the bushes. After Kajiri assists White Climax and pledges her loyalty to him, they transport the hostages to Hoshigeaka Academy. Meanwhile, Hayaka approaches Okuma to inform him about the news and all the hostages. Gathered Fabric makes ransom demands at the school. As the students are instructed to put on new pairs of underwear and trousers, Autumn becomes pleased at the sight of it. After she reaches out to pick up her pencil, she finds paint on the floor and new ideas pop up in her mind. On the other hand, Ayame and Okuma examine the terrible situation. Tanukichi explains how individuals like Anna are taught to feel that everything they do is righteous as he is uncomfortably approached again by Fuwa. Hearing this, Okuma is assured that he can use Anna to their advantage and then devises a dangerous plot. While Kajiri plans gathered Fabric tactics, White Climax confesses that he has no plans to organize a revolution. She is enraged that he tricked him and tries to take him down. But the other proves too much for her as he can just defeat her with the swing of his little buddy. Autumn later contacts Okuma and they make a plan to infiltrate. He sneaks into Anna's bath and after baiting her with his scent, he asks her for her help as she can play a vital role in bringing their mutual foe down. However, since she is suspicious of them, Okuma had to use an excuse of his panties being stolen by the enemies, prompting her to immediately agree to help. Ayame, Okuma, Anna, Guriki, and Aburo then confront White Climax while the hostages get away. While Autumn assists the students in their escape, Ayame and Anna kill off White Climax for good. Following Ayame's public filthy joke speech, Kajiri returns to Socks, now recognizing Ayame as her master once more. Socks is invited to a meeting in a hot springs resort in Nukumi. Okuma recalls an artifact passed down from his father. Hearing this, Ayame immediately feels this may have some connection to a treasure as his father was a heroic terrorist of the past. Later, Reiki and Anna greet them as they arrive at the lodge. As everyone is busy bathing, Anna sneaks in on Okuma and tries to have fun with him in the pool. However, when somebody screams, they have to leave, ultimately discovering Sophia's unconscious body, accosted by an Ero terrorist known as Base Black. He explains that he is the one who brought everyone to the resort, though they aren't surprised as everybody knew something was off about Sophia inviting them over. Through Yakukan, he then challenges them to a battle for the artifact that Okuma carried, revealing that it is key to an ancient treasure. Okuma is able to collect the artifact due to Reiki's loss and subsequent undressing. Okuma and Ayame are riding the tram when Anna emerges, climbing the cables to catch up to Okuma and causing the tram's floor to collapse. The two arrive at an ancient mansion and examine it, discovering a mechanism through which the artifact fits. Kajiri and Autumn catch up with them and assist in the opening of the vault, which houses a treasure trove of sexual sculptures and statues. They promise that when the anti-profanity enforcement is lifted, the treasure will be allowed to travel the world once more. Until that time comes, they need to keep fighting to preserve future generations. What did you think about this anime? Let us know in the comments. For now, leave us a like and subscribe to our channel for more content.